Shahzad Akbar, your response to the president's assessment of these drone strikes?
This is precisely what I will be talking about at the drone summit on this weekend, because we are starting from the first strike of under President Obama, and that first strike victim is there is one surviving victim who's still alive, and he's another 17 years old child, a high school student, and having had lost 7 of his family members the first strike which President Obama took, and he has filed a case in Islamabad against the Americans for this strike, and there are many others after that. But what I see here is that either President Obama is lying to the nation, or he is too naive to believe on the reports which CIA is presenting to President, because CIA is the one who is taking out such strikes, and they are coming to President and say that we are taking out the right targets. Now this is something where they need to assert their reasoning and see, like, people you are killing, what do you have against them, and the identities, because so far nothing is known about the identities. And Tariq Aziz is a very latest example of how randomly people are being targeted, and there is a big number of civilians. I mean, there is another attack of 17th March 2011, which Pakistani government even retaliated on a higher scale, and that attack had killed 50 of the Jirga members who are in arbitrary council trying to mediate on a conflict between 2 sub-tribes last year in North Waziristan, and all of them were taken out in a drone strike. Pakistani president and Pakistani parliament and prime minister, they all retaliated and condemned this attack. Now, if we were to believe President Obama, then it means that on ground whatever we're seeing is wrong, and we just have to believe that people who are remote controlling killing these people in Pakistan, they even have the ample knowledge of their guilt, so they take out these targets.
Medea Benjamin, in your book, you also go into some of the behind-the-scenes action that is occurring among the soldiers and the CIA operatives who are launching these strikes. Can you first clarify this issue of the signature strike? What is different about that from the other targeted strikes of the administration, and also this entire issue of these attacks being made by people remotely on civilians as well as supposed militants?
Well, they divide them between what's called the personality strikes, when you actually have a hit list and you know the names of the people you're trying to take out, and the other is the signature strikes, where it's just by suspicious behavior. If you're with a group and you're carrying guns and you look like you're militants. And this is done by pilots that are thousands of miles away, don't know the culture, don't know the people, don't know the region. And so they are given this tremendous responsibility, and they kill by day, and then they're supposed to go home to their families at night. They're sitting in a place like Creech Air Force Base outside of Las Vegas, and supposed to integrate themselves into their families and their communities after spending the day watching remote control and using a PlayStation to kill people. We find that these pilots have PTSD just like soldiers on the battlefield have as well. And I think it's putting them in a terrible situation. I do want to say, Juan, that so many people who spoke out against George Bush's extraordinary rendition and Guantanamo and indefinite detention have been very quiet when it comes to the Obama administration, who is not putting people in those same kind of conditions, instead is just taking them out and killing them. So we need to make people speak up and say that when Obama says this is on a tight leash, this is not true. This is a lie, and the American people have to become aware of it and not be partisan about that. We don't care who's doing the killing. We want the killing to stop.
What about, Medea Benjamin, the use of drones at home?
Well, yes, you know, people should be aware that the administration has already killed Americans overseas, and Eric Holder has said that Americans are not guaranteed judicial process. So there is nothing stopping them from killing Americans here at home either. In fact, when the head of the FBI was asked at a hearing whether drones could be used to kill Americans at home, he said he wasn't sure about that. But certainly drones are coming back for surveillance. They are being used now in an experimental way with police departments, but there is a very strong lobby of these drone manufacturers who have 53 members of Congress who have formed their own drone caucus, and they are pressuring to get drones allowed in a much broader way into U.S. airspace. That will happen now by 2015, and every police department in this country wants its own drones. We will be, you have done so many great programs already, Amy, on the Surveillance Society. This will take it to another degree altogether if we have drones overhead, and drones can come right into your window and look inside your home. Get ready for another level of surveillance, and not only that, they can be equipped. Right now they're talking about less than lethal means. They can have stun guns, they can have hand grenades, they can have all kinds of things on these drones. And as I said, who knows whether they could be used to kill people in the United States as well.
Well, we want to thank you both for being with us. Medea Benjamin, who is co-founder of CODEPINK, author of the book Drone Warfare, Killing by Remote Control. I also want to thank our guest who's just come in from Pakistan, Shahzad Akbar, co-founder of the Foundation for Fundamental Rights, first denied a visa, and now he is in Washington to attend the drone conference. Medea Benjamin taking place in Washington, D.C. Many people have been protesting the drone strikes, both in Syracuse, outside of Syracuse, at the Hancock Airfield Base, at Creech, in Minneapolis. They also will be there, and where will they be?
So they can come and join. People can still come to the conference on Saturday or watch it live stream on the CODEPINK website.
I want to thank you both for being with us. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. We'll be back in a minute.